merchants, because it was kind of put together in William Marshall's time, but put together by the merchants in Kilkenny. There was 10 very wealthy people at the time, the Rhodes, the Shees, the Archers, the Father Purcell's crowd, the Purcells, and yeah, and the Comerfords and the O'Sheas.
That would be my crowd, the Comerfords.
Yeah. Anyway, it changed from being Church of Ireland to Catholic at different times over the periods of a couple of centuries. In William Marshall's time, it was the main parish church of Englishtown. I was saying earlier on, we're still in Englishtown, and it was the parish church of there. And for the upkeep of the church, people had to pay a halfpenny to William Marshall every year. The poorer people and the business people paid 4 old pence for the upkeep of it. It's a beautiful graveyard, as you can see. It could do with a bit of doing up, but there's we'll say the more important people of the day were buried inside, and the less important outside, and less important again towards the wall. And there's one interesting grave we passed in by it, but sometime in your own time you could come back and see it. It's one of the Shees graves, and there's Faith, Hope and Charity. I showed you on the way out actually. Faith, Hope and Charity, little effigies on top, and there's the picture of the 12 apostles on the bottom of it, and it's the only place in Austria where the whole 12 apostles are on the one tomb, seemingly. And anyway, they were doing up the river down there. Our river tends to flood, and 10 years ago they were doing a big developmental thing and try to get the floods from coming up this direction. And what did they find? Only loads of slabs and headstones that were keeping back the bank of the river. So they took those and they brought them in here. This is going to be turned into a beautiful museum with all sorts of monuments and artifacts. So next time the Americans are around, you'll be able to go in there, I'm sure. You know, they reckon maybe in about another year or there, because it'll be open. So it's an interesting sort of place. It was deconsecrated in 1951. No, it wasn't. The last service was here in 1951. It was deconsecrated in 1957. And then the Borough Council took it over in the year 2010. And as I say, it's a museum that's going in there. And there was a well here in its time called St. Mary's Well, and that was kind of the way it was years ago beside the church, say St. Mary's Church, so the well was called St. Mary's. Hundreds of people gathered here to collect the water from the well. They felt it had healing properties, and they had big celebrations on the feast day, and in they came, and this carried on in different, we'll see other wells as we go along today, and there was great celebrations on the day. And Bishop Kinsella at the time, he was getting a bit annoyed because there was so much celebrations in the line of drinking and etc., etc. So he put a stop to it, and he said to his clergy that he wouldn't let any of them officially or officiate at any of the funerals of the people that were at the well or their families, so that put a stop to it. They were afraid. So there was a soccer team here in the day, and they used to come in here to play soccer, and they were called the Tombstone Rangers, which is kind of an interesting one. And when we go out now, we're going to be walking down a place called Coffin Lane, and it was called Coffin Lane because the coffins came from the different places down this little lane in at the back of the town hall where you were the other night. So I found it very interesting in here. I think it's lovely. And I'm thinking Kumbaya is a nice, quiet, gentle little sound for this nice, gentle little place in here.